Hey, Beardman here. Welcome to our very first podcast. I am so excited. Our guest tonight, is a superhero. He's a real, true American hero. I'm going to introduce him in a second, but this is our very first podcast for Beardman's Full Bellies. We're going to tell great stories. You can find us on Beardman_story. So again, I have a great guest today. I'm going to introduce him here in a second. This is for Veterans Day, and my guest is Steve. Steve came to me a couple weeks ago. His story is fabulous. Steve is a vet. First of all, Steve, thank you for being a veteran. Thank you for serving. We need to say thank you today, especially if you see a vet, thank a vet. See a vet, thank a vet. So, Steve, tell us about your service for our country first and foremost.
Okay, well, I first enlisted in 1981. Went into the Army. I've done patrolling supply. Done truck masters. I've done air defense artillery. Through the career that I've had in 30 years, which I retired in 2011, I have a total of 8 different MOSs.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And, I've seen a lot of stuff in Desert Storm.
Because you served in Desert Storm.
I served in Desert Storm when it first started.
Okay.
I was with 18th Airborne Corps.
18th Airborne Corps, okay.
And then did my tour there, short tour. But then I came home. Then I was getting mobilized to Iraq.
Oh, okay, so you went to Iraq. Is that Iraqi freedom?
Yes.
Okay, so you served in Iraqi freedom.
And I was there from 2007 to 2009.
Oh, okay, wow.
And a lot of stuff that I had actually seen over there, which a lot of vets do, and they see a lot more.
Yeah.
But things that I've gotten from Iraq is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
Traumatic brain injury.
Right.
Since Iraq, since I came back, I've had 3 back surgeries.
Okay.
I've had 2 neck surgeries.
Okay.
Because of the injuries.
Okay, how did you sustain some of these? Also, just briefly, you said that you were in transportation.
When I went over there, I was in transportation.
Okay.
We did a lot of convoys.
Okay.
So a lot of convoys are hit with IEDs and or big old potholes that the driver will actually swerve because they're not sure if it's an actual IED or if it's just a pothole.
Right.
So when my driver, when I was a gunner, gunner's mate, and my driver didn't see the pothole.
Oh, wow.
So he wasn't sure if it was a IED or if it was just pothole. So he went through it. It threw me out of the gunner seat.
Oh, wow.
Came up, I hit the turret, came back down, my 240 Bravo hit me in the mouth, and I was knocked out. I was out for about 2 minutes. They couldn't wake me up. So when I got back, when I finally came to, I reached down to my med pack that we always have on our legs.
Yeah.
I got some gauze out, I stuffed it with my mouth, pulled it out, it was full of blood.
Yeah.
I was really bleeding. Got back to the AO, area of operations, and commander said, "What happened to you?" And I told him, he goes, "You need to go see the medics."
Right.
So I went over to the medics, and they said, "Well, you sustained traumatic brain injury because you were unconscious for a couple minutes,
Right. Absolutely.
and they didn't know exactly how bad it was gonna get.
Right.
And they basically just released me back to duty.
Oh, wow.
And they said that I will always feel it if I run my tongue at the bottom of my lip.
Oh, right.
I got how do you want to say it? Like a scar.
Oh, right.
But it's like a bump inside of my lip.
Oh, okay, so you're from that injury, right?
That they said that I'll always have it.
Right.
I'll always be able to feel it.
Yeah. So how did you told me, so you did that, and then you told me you just retired in 2011?
I just retired in 2011.
Okay, so you retired in 2011. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you because you are truly a hero. I believe anybody who goes and serves our country is a hero, and if not enough people tell you every single day, I think you're a hero. Now, when we first talked, you were telling me, because we both are heavily tattooed, you were telling me about a brand new tattoo you
Yes.
just got. So, go from there.
Okay, I got a brand new tattoo
Right.
from my son-in-law. He does tattoos. That's where I've gotten all my tattoos from, all my sleeves. He just did a 22 with the Soldier's Cross in it. What that is, basically there is 22 veterans a day that commit suicide.
Okay, well, stop. Say that one more time.
Okay, there's 22 veterans a day that commit suicide,
Wow.
either from Iraq, Afghanistan, and I was talking to a guy earlier today, and his father served in Vietnam,
Oh, my dad did too, yeah.
and he took a 38
Oh,
to his head
terrible.
because he was tired of all the pain.
Right, absolutely.
So he is basically all the way back from Vietnam forward,
Right,
is basically statistics
yes.
in this nation.
Wow.
And people they don't really know that there is 22 veterans a day that commit suicide.
Oh, you were gonna tell me about a woman in Minnesota.
Missouri.
Oh, Missouri, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Missouri.
She put on a display
Okay,
of flags
yes.
for each veteran that commits suicide a day.
Okay,
Basically, there is every 65 minutes in a day, a veteran can commit suicide.
that's
Every 65 minutes.
yes, right.
So you can do the math from there.
Sure.
But she put 22 flags for each veteran that commits suicide a day.
Right,
Okay?
yeah.
Then she put 30 flags up,
30 rows, you were saying, yeah.
which is for a whole month.
Right, exactly.
And if you add the math for the 22 a day for 30 rows,
Yeah.
which every day of the month,
Right. Unbelievable.
for a whole year, you have 8,880 veterans that are committing suicide
In 1 month.
in 1 year. 8,008.
In 1 month. Yeah.
No, in 1 month,
Yeah, you're right,
it's, well, it's, 1 month. And she didn't say by month,
Oh, okay.
but she put it by the
Oh,
year.
okay, I got you, okay.
Cause it's
Right, sure. That's
22
amazing.
flags
Right,
by
30
30 flags.
Right. Amazing. Oh, that's
And
such a
there's
huge number.
8,580 vets a year
Oh,
that
wow.
commit suicide.
So you got to the tattoo 22 because you said you wanted to do more than just call awareness to it. Talk about that.
I wanted to call more awareness to
Awareness.
22,
Yes.
which a lot of veterans know what 22 means.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
It's 22 a day,
So.
and that's 22 too many.
Oh, absolutely. So not only are these heroes doing this, the VA, you were telling me, the VA, it just, there's no resources whatsoever.
There's not
enough
resources
Okay.
to help all these veterans. And for, 8,500 veterans a year,
Right.
that's 8,500 that shouldn't even be happening.
Absolutely.
22 veterans a day, when I was researching it, and I said I wanted that tattoo,
Yeah.
so that when people ask me, what does that 22 mean?
Right, absolutely.
I can tell them
Yeah.
that there's 22 veterans a day
Yeah.
that commit suicide.
That was a huge story that bonded us. And then the next story that I want to tell before we run out of time here is the next step that you told me about homeless veterans.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
There is homeless vets nationwide, everywhere.
Right.
They live on the streets, they live in a tent, they live wherever they can find a home, they live.
Absolutely.
And what I was telling you about was that I wanted to start, because I told my wife that if I ever came into money,
Right.
that I would build a homeless vet home.
Absolutely. Homeless shelter for vets, right.
Yes,
And
which there's many out there, and if I could do it, I would get the building, start off, gut it out,
Yep.
make rooms, like 6 to 8 bunk beds per room.
Absolutely.
That way there's, depending on how many rooms, you could have 22 vets right in there, just like that.
Absolutely. So does the VA now, does the VA do anything with homeless veterans, or is that something like you could start a charity? Because you were saying something earlier before the show about starting a charity.
If it was a charity 501c3,
Right.
which people can give money to
Absolutely.
and have it as a tax write-off.
Right. Absolutely.
We just need property or a vacant home, or like here in Springfield, for example,
Yeah.
there is so many buildings that are around in Springfield
Absolutely.
that they just tear down and they just put a lot.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Anybody out there that knows anyone in real estate that has a building, the building, as long as it's not falling down. If anyone knows of any kind of a building, the Upper Valley Mall is out there now, that's vacant. There's vacant buildings downtown. We just tore down 2 hospitals. That would have been perfect. So instead of tearing down these buildings, somebody contact us. Okay, so if you know of a vacant building that this man could use, because this guy knows how to do things. He knows that him and his buddies, he's gonna talk about his vest here in a second, but him and his buddies, they can do the work. They're gonna put the work in, they can do the work to make it the inside. All we need is a building. So if you know of anything, please contact me again at Beardman_story. That's my Instagram, or on my Facebook at Aaron Stratton. Now, tell us a little bit about your combat vet organization real quick before we get out of here.
Okay, well, I'm with Combat Vets
Yes.
Motorcycle Association.
Okay, yes.
We're a nonprofit organization.
Yes.
We have runs, we have 9 chapters in the state of
Okay.
Ohio right now.
Yes.
We all have seen combat. The only way you can be a combat vet in the Combat Vets Association, you have to show your 214,
Okay.
which is a military term of your paperwork,
Sure.
showing that you're in either a combat zone,
Yeah.
Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, any war that has actually happened,
Yeah.
that would show on your 214 that you were in a combat zone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we ride motorcycles, and our logo is Vets Helping Vets.
Oh, absolutely, Vets Helping Vets, and that's what we want to do today. And before we go, I want to say again, thank you to Steve. You are a true American hero. My dad was a Vietnam vet. I want to thank all the vets out there, all the vets that I know. Thank you for your service. I want to thank all the police officers, firefighters, first responders out there also, because let me tell you what, when we're running out of a burning building and you're running into it, that is amazing. You guys are heroes.
And they're not getting thanked enough.
We're not thanking these people enough, especially in this environment. But Steve, I want to thank you, buddy. Thank you for coming. You are a true hero. Follow me on Instagram at Beardman_story. We need to get the word out. 22. Don't forget that number. 22 is 22 too many. We can make a difference, and we will. Remember, Beardman loves you.